No doubt, here it is, 3.5 years after the fact. I sometimes wonder if believing in the hoax at all has been, somebody has been navigating us to believe that. And let me just go over a few of the things in my head. There were the YouTube users in the very beginning, Jonelle Star TV. She started talking about things that this is, pay attention people, this is what's going on. And then came piano games. And then there was that RNL hoax video that they claimed responsibility for it. There were comparison videos that tried to disprove RNL, trying to prove that it was a hoax. And then there were videos that also tried to prove that the burial site was actually a soundstage. And then there were people who showed up at the memorial and the burial. First there was the man with the white fedora and the gray hair, who people were convinced was Michael Jackson in disguise. And then there was the lady with the blonde hair who was sitting next to the man with the fedora. And then people were convinced that she was Michael Jackson in disguise. The Conrad Murray video, a professional doctor doing a video that apologizes to his patients. And then when This Is It came out on YouTube, there was a review of it by somebody named Dave Rabbit, when as we already felt like we were following the white rabbit through the rabbit hole of Wonderland. And then, you know, let's look at some of the tabloids, how they participated in this. 6 months before Michael Jackson was supposedly found dead, the Inquirer said 6 months, Michael Jackson, 6 months to live. And TMZ, 6 minutes before the coroner's official time of death, had announced that Michael Jackson died. Oh, let's see, MySpace, which if you still are new to the hoax, you've got to go to myspace.com/True News Zone. They call themselves TNZ. And they're very creative, writing about how it is a hoax. And you read it and you can't help but wonder who is behind all this. And then there was the Derek Klontz and Cassandra Gretchen Sims. Cassandra Gretchen Sims supposedly was a friend of Michael Jackson's, and she said that he was alive and he was well and he was recovering, and she would take questions, any questions, and she would have Michael answer them and she would respond. There was Dave's MySpace page, and Peter Pan PYT MySpace page. It sounds like Michael Jackson talking about Michael Jackson just dying. Then there was the This Is Also It, where it would redirect on a regular basis to something different, but something Michael Jackson related. Like, people are feeding us information on the hoax artists, Joey Skaggs and P.T. Barnum and Edgar Allan Poe, who Michael Jackson was going to do a movie about, who actually wrote 6 hoaxes. And we're not talking about 6 hoaxes in story form. He wrote them that supposedly were true. One of them being about a man who stayed alive after he was pronounced dead through hypnotism. And then there was Chris Angel and his website, and Believe, with the word L-I-E in the middle of it. And then there were people who performed at Michael Jackson's memorial who also afterwards did things with the word believe in, such as Usher. Usher did a big billboard for Belvedere Vodka with the word believe. And Jennifer Hudson, she did a commercial, uses the word believe, but she also sang a song, Believe. And Orianthi had an album called Believe. We were introduced to ARGs. What's an ARG? An alternate reality game, where you're directed to all this media type stuff, just like I'm talking about, to find clues about what's really going on. And so we've been directed to everything that I just told you about, including Coke. Is Coke possibly a sponsor? Because Coke is in the background of so many photos, and the commercial with the Coke machine where it's handing out sunflowers, and we all know that sunflowers was Michael Jackson's favorite flower, according to Lisa Marie Presley. And then there was that dodo bird that was showing up everywhere, and I'm not really quite sure how that works in. And the McDonald's coffee, is this Joe? Then this must be Joseph. And, referring to all the legal documents where it's Michael Joseph Jackson instead of Michael Joe Jackson. And then going way, way back, right after he died, the commercial that was at the MTV VMA Awards, where they feature Crumbs, the cupcake bakery, and their icon is a little jester, and they show it on the window. And then there was Nelson de la Noise, who is the king of pop art, and TMZ made a big deal out of mentioning that Michael Jackson actually bought a couple of his pieces right before he died. We've been directed to the fact that Marlon was wearing an FBI cap. And then his friends, Teddy Riley and Akon, and even Uri Geller, after the fact, make these public statements that they believe it's possible Michael Jackson's still alive. Orianthi and Judith Hill do a video where it's like, are you ready yet? Is the world ready yet? And then let's not forget some of the quotes by the family, where Jermaine says in a radio interview in Australia, Michael wasn't with us long before he left the airport. And he also makes the statement at the This Is It premiere, this is not it. There's going to be much, much more. And Joe Jackson, a few days after Michael Jackson dies, at the BET Awards, not sad, all excited, saying, much is fixing to happen. There's a lot that's fixing to happen. The Jackson Brothers A&E reality TV show. It had Jermaine's wife wearing the t-shirt that said Michael lives. They make references to seeing Michael again someday, and Michael's there with them. In the Jackson Brothers Unity Tour, they do the song When Will I See You Again, with Michael Jackson's picture up there right after looking through a window, which, some believers believe that Michael Jackson's kind of looking at us while we've been trying to figure it all out. And then in the Cirque du Soleil Immortal show, they have a quote of Michael Jackson's, which ends in the word believe, which is bolded and highlighted and made bigger, and then it's signed Michael Jackson. What about the court contradictions between security and the paramedics and Dr. Murray? We had all different kinds of stories going on there. He was on the bed when somebody walked in. Somebody else says, no, he was on the floor. Somebody else said Murray was giving him one-handed CPR. Murray actually asked, does anybody know CPR? And in the court, the reading of the verdict. The alleged victim, Michael Joseph Jackson, on the alleged date, June 25th, 2009. And she stood up, she read that in front of a little animal, a little stuffed animal, just like we saw all through the court case. I don't know of any other court that has little stuffed animals, white rabbits, and others hanging out in the courtroom. Was Randy Phillips saying goodbye at the Staples Center to Michael Jackson, or was he already in Michael Jackson's house, like somebody witnessed? And is Michael Jackson dead, according to the paramedics, or is he alive, according to Dr. Murray? And then why work on him for as long as they worked on him at the hospital, when the ambulance, we saw the ambulance casually backing out without the siren on? And what was with the Christmas decorations on the gates of the upscale neighborhood, where there's a video of a neighbor who goes to a back entrance that doesn't exist from the streets to try to persuade MJ to remove the Christmas decorations? And what did LaToya remove from the house on the night that he died? Because we all know she went back there. And why did she say it's all an illusion? Read between the lines, watch the movie The Illusionist, which has to do with a fake death.